Rolling.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to American Slacker Podcast with Matthew Gertz and Jesse Landers.
You'll see here the human male boasts the size of his testicles. I drive grape when I'm blood. It's all about the sauce. Good, get him out of here. Get him out of here. Oh man, speaking of fucking, you want popcorn? I'll give you a popcorn kit. I'm just trying to go to Colorado and smoke some weed. Watch your fucking tots, huh? Those are my biscuits. Now, this is all alleged.
Welcome to American Slacker Podcast. As always, I'm Matt.
And I am Jesse, and today we are joined by our friend of the pod and fantastic producer, Haverland.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Thanks for coming on, man.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure's all ours, man.
Yeah.
Can you tell our audience a little bit about what it is you do?
Well, like you said, I'm a producer. The last album that I did was mainly, it was all rap. So, I guess right now I'd be considered a hip-hop producer because that is my first project that I've officially put out. I do have some pop records and stuff like that that I've recorded with other people, but nothing like an official full album like this.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And you've been talking to me behind the scenes a little bit about the project and what has kind of gone into it. It's a cool idea. Can you kind of give us a summary of what it is that you were doing with? And we should give them the name too, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Well, the project was titled My Free Mind by Haverland. It's what I would say a producer's album. And basically I just gathered 11 rappers across the country, and there's actually one singer that isn't listed on there, that isn't one of the tracks, so I guess it'd be technically 12. But anyway, I gathered 12 people together to each do a track, and basically I just compiled this group of artists and put all these great songs together. And that's pretty much what the album is.
It's a cool idea, because you're always going to get something different when you bring that many people into a project.
Right.
What was there anyone that stuck out as oh wow, I would never have thought of this, or this would go, or another artist that I have on the album never would have gone about it this way?
So there was two things. There was one artist on there that I kind of knew. He already had a reputation, and I kind of knew that, it was going to be a good song, and he was going to do it right. Mm-hmm. But there was actually a surprise on the album that really surprised me, and it actually gave me more respect for this dude, and actually I'm working with him more now than I was before.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, he definitely proved himself to me, and I was like, wow, dude, you blew me away with that one. So yeah, we're working further into it now.
It's a hell of a networking project, it seems.
Oh my God, dude. It's that, and it's a lot of headache. Just getting I don't know if you've worked with, I'm sure you've had plenty of talent on this show, but getting people to commit to something, and then also following through and doing what they said they were going to do is definitely difficult with just one people. But then I'm trying to do it 12 times over.
So, yeah, that's our weekly life here, man. Every week we're trying to match up with people's schedules across the globe to get them on the show, and it's we get no shows, but it's not too bad, but it is hard to match schedules, so that's for sure.
Yeah.
Where were some of the artists you were working with from?
Virginia, North Carolina, California, Texas. Where was
So it sounds like you're definitely working between time zones.
Oh, definitely, for sure. Yeah.
On top of like people's schedules.
Yeah. It was nice because there would be like an artist that got on a track and he would like record it or whatever. And then he would be like, hey man, I'm in the studio with my buddy, this is his stuff. And he would like send me a track or something. And, I kind of like got some networking through that as well, just kind of working with somebody. And then he's like, oh, you're dope. So I got a friend over here too.
Nice.
So that happened a couple of times actually on this project. A couple of people like kind of just hooked me up with another person, and it was cool.
That's always better because people, if like someone can vouch for them as well, if they're gonna go out and be like, oh, this guy will fucking follow through.
Yeah. So I mean, that definitely helped out. I definitely set like a goal of a minimum of 10 tracks. Mm-hmm. I wanted to do somewhere between 10 and 13. Mm-hmm. Ended up with 11. So not too bad.
Right in the middle.
Mm-hmm. Man, it's the amazing thing about now the digital age is, that you're collaborating with artists across the country with such ease. And it's such a different age with that, man. I love that. Back in the day, there was like a band called the Postal Service, and they used to actually send each other CDs because they lived across the country.
The cool kids used to do that too with tracks.
That's how they would write their music, man. They would send each other the CDs or the flash drives when it came to flash drives, and they would write the songs that way and mash them up together. It's amazing now that you can just do it like whenever meet somebody, boom, let's fucking work on a track together. And I mean, the album's fucking dope, man. I love the collaborations.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, we love it.
Yeah, I definitely worked pretty damn hard on it. It took me, I would say a solid 4.5 months of, every day, taking care of something. So whether it was contacting somebody or, just sending beats or even mixing and stuff like that, recording. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely
a labor of love for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure. I definitely put a lot of effort and time into it. I wanted my first project to be, a good one and not something that I wouldn't be proud of, I'm sure you guys understand that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
and you can always be your own like hardest critic too.
Yeah, for sure.
And I have to say thank you for some of the tracks that you've provided for our show. We needed background music badly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because all the copyright free stuff was getting a little old. So
yeah, I get it.
And you provided a nice little folder for us, and I'm pretty sure our audience has been enjoying it. We haven't gotten any bad feedback. So
That's good. That's good.
Now, so those were sort of ones that you were just messing around with. It seems like you jump on there and sort of you get an idea in your head and you kind of roll with it.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of those projects or the beats that I sent you guys are actually not any that I've ever used or will ever probably use. A lot of those. So producers generally will have like a A-list, a B-list, a C-list, a D-list, however long they want to go.
Are you keeping the gold from us?
Yeah, I am. I'm going to be honest with you guys.
I don't blame you. They're your babies.
No, I actually have like I said, a pack that I wanted to send you guys with probably, I want to say there's like between 40 and 50 more beats on there. So
that's
it's a good
awesome.
little pack. Yeah. And it's all new stuff in the last couple of months. So
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. We're looking forward to it, and I'm sure listeners will appreciate it as well.
Yeah.
Good. So yeah, I mean, as far as like making and producing and creating and stuff like that, I am pretty quick. I will hear something and I'll immediately have a full beat in my head, and like sometimes I can even hear lyrics and stuff like that. I've done some writing for some artists in the past, and but it was it's definitely easy for me to hear a full song just off like one sound. Like you could drop a pen on the desk a certain way and I'll be like, ooh, that's a dope hi-hat, let me use that. So like, yeah, I mean, I hear music pretty much all day long, all the time.
It's like you're sampling as you walk through everyday life.
Definitely. I'm starting to get to the point to where I'm actually pulling out my phone and I'll record some alert system that's going off at a building or whatever, and I've been using sounds like that, so it's been pretty cool.
I love stuff like that.
That's awesome when you can pull like Nat sound and actually like
real life sampling.
Right. Yeah. I like doing like sound design and stuff like that, creating my own. Like I'll take an instrument that comes, with some plugin, and I'll completely tweak it out, and it sounds completely different than it originally started at. So I love doing that kind of stuff.
What kicked off this? Like, was there something as like you were a kid that like started you down this path?
Well, I guess back in like 2007, 2008, I started listening to dubstep, and I was kind of throughout my life, I kind of listened to techno and EDM and stuff like that, but like I didn't really let it be known because I was the weird techno kid. If I was like, I just didn't want to be that guy or whatever. Yeah. So after high school, I kind of like got into the dubstep scene, and I always thought to myself, man, these would sound so cool if a rapper would like get on these. And I always had that idea. And then like I started getting like really into going to shows and stuff like that. And then I started DJing. So I was doing house parties, and then eventually I got into a club, and I was DJing at a club in Portland, Oregon for a while. And then
what was that like? Was it all hipsters? Or was this was pre-hipster?
Have you seen Portlandia?
Yeah.
Okay, so I hated that show only because it was 100% accurate.
Oh, really?
It's bad.
I love that show, but I don't know if I'd love to live there if that's what it was like.
Yeah, it gets weird. But I mean, growing up in Portland definitely exposes you to a lot of different sounds and stuff like that. Like you don't really get put into a box in Portland. That is the one thing I did like about it. You could kind of be whoever you were, and that was cool.
Well, that's cool. What? So you grew up in Portland for like most of your life?
Yeah, pretty much. When I was 22, 23, my wife and I moved to Virginia. So, yeah, that was when she got pregnant and had a kid. And we had a kid and all that. So, but yeah, after that is when I kind of actually just stopped doing music altogether. I was only just listening to music. And when I got into the Army, I met a friend of mine, and he had done Full Sail University and did the whole music production classes and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
And I told him about my passion for music and I always wanted to do make music and stuff like that. So he showed me how to do it and kind of do it, and then it just took off from there. I haven't stopped since.
So he had to pay for the education. You just got it for free off of him.
Yep.
Nice. That's the way to do it.
It's called working smarter, not harder,
Yeah. Right. You had mentioned that you were in the Army. How long were you in the Army for?
I was there for 3 years.
Okay.
3 years, yeah.
And not too much music production, I'm guessing, going on.
Well, I did it, I mean, as a hobby, that it wasn't like you didn't have any free time. You definitely have some free time. So yeah, I mean, I definitely did it pretty much any moment I got. And that's when I met my buddy that was in the Army, and we would always go over to each other's houses, and I would just be soaking in and learning everything I possibly could. And yeah, I mean, I definitely owe a lot of credit to him for sure. His name's Umonic, by the way. He's a dope producer. He actually is making a lot of how-to videos and stuff like that on YouTube. He's got a dope little channel and stuff like that.
We were just talking yesterday about how the how-tos on YouTube are the way to go.
Yeah. So yeah, he's doing that thing, and yeah.
And I guess you can vouch for his how-tos as well, because
oh, for sure, he definitely knows what he's doing. He definitely knows what he's doing. Yeah.
So with this most recent project, you brought together all these creators. Do you think the next thing that you're going to do is going to be with one of these artists?
Well, this actually catapulted a lot of projects and for the future, because you know, a lot of pretty much everybody that I talked to that was on the project, they were happy with it. They were like, man, this turned out super dope. It's such a, you know, collective of people. It's so different. Each track's different. So it actually sparked, you know, future, you know, endeavors. And I'm working on a project with an artist, Twig. That's the one guy that surprised me. Actually, his name's Twig. He did Shutter. I was just listening to that one this morning, like pre-interview. I love it. Yeah. So that one was the one that surprised me, and so yeah, I'm working with him and King LA. I'm working with him and also Jenks, who did Friday. That's the first. Yeah,
Friday was a good one too.
Yeah, so he was the one that I was like, okay, I know he's got, you know, a following, he's got whatever. And I wasn't surprised, but it was definitely a dope track. Like, it was one of the dopest tracks, I think, on the project. But it wasn't like a shocker to me, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I knew he was going to rip it, so.
Have you ever had a project in your history, like, I know that not on this album, not calling out anybody, but I'm saying in your history, that you were like, shit, I can't even use this? Have you ever met like an artist that you tried to collab with and it just fell through horribly?
Actually, on this project, I had one. It didn't fall through, but what did end up happening is I asked him to re-record.
Okay.
It was an awful recording, and I tried my best to like work with it, but it just was. I was like, bro, either re-record it or I'm gonna cut you.
What, do you do it in traffic, like on his iPhone?
It wouldn't surprise me. He's a busy guy, so. But I mean, it worked out. It ended up working out because he re-recorded it, and he followed my advice, and thank God. So it worked out.
Oh, okay. That's good. That's not the worst story that I could imagine, you know, working with so many different artists.
Yeah. I mean, I've had one that, so this guy sent me like a recording, and he had this beat already that he made, and he wanted me to like mix it and make it sound good and whatever. But when I was done, like, his lyrics were just fucking whack. And like, I sent it back to him. I was like, he's like, so what did you think? And I was like, well, the mix sounds really good.
It's like, take the hit.
I mean, like, I can't, you know, artistry is artistry, and it's all subjective, and like, you know, one person may like it, the next person might not.
Right.
And, you know, it's not my job to judge, but it wasn't my cup of tea.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, I've had stuff like that happen, which, you know, I mean, if they're paying you to do a job, you just do your job. So,
right.
Yeah. And it's bound to happen. I mean, it'll definitely happen to any artist over time.
Right. I don't got to like your music to make money off of it, so.
Very true.
Yeah, that's very
that
true.
Sounds harsh, but, you know, it's true.
Do you think that's sort of the state of the industry right now?
Yeah,
because there's a lot of whack shit out there. It seems like.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think the record industries have been like that for a long, long time, where they're like, I don't care about what your music is as long as it makes me money, you know. So
yeah,
I mean, that's just it's just a normal thing in the whole industry.
Especially for the labels, they're all about the bottom line. Like, that's it. Yeah, like that's it. So,
yeah, that's what.
And I don't know if you're familiar with any of these contracts and stuff like that. Like, they have like 360 deals and stuff like that. I don't know if you're familiar with, but they'll like give these artists all this money up front that they actually have to pay back, and you know, they have to make that money back through album sales, tour sales, whatever, you know, they got to do. So they start out in debt usually.
Essentially.
Yeah, it's money to essentially get them by while they're in the studio recording, so they could take like a time period and just fucking grind, you know. But the thing that happens commonly, especially with an artist that's already cranked out a bunch of hit albums, they go into that fucking studio and they hit writer's block.
Yeah.
And bad shit can happen. Or that's where they'll have like a team from the record label come in, and then they'll put their little grimy hands in the pot and try to fucking tell you what to do. You know, as we've had like, you know, different artists on that have told us horror stories about.
My dad's always made the point that when an artist like has their first album that they get picked up on, that's all their good shit they've been working on for years. But then you end up like getting signed, and now you're on a timetable, and you have to put out more good shit in less time.
Yeah.
Trying to make money. So explain with this 360 deal, like where they're essentially getting like credited the funds to record and do all that shit, and then they have to pay that back.
Basically, you're taking out like an advance.
Okay.
And sometimes the label, for example, Meek Mills, he signed a deal, and the label, at that point, they're responsible for marketing, for promotion, all that, like everything. But they can promote whoever they want to promote.
Okay.
So if you sign this deal with them, they give you, whatever, $500,000 up front, then you're in debt $500,000 to the label. And you also got to pay for all your studio time, all your engineers, all your, if you have everything is coming out of your pocket. And then you still owe the label all this money. Now, hopefully with your album sales tour and all that, you make all that back and some, that's the idea. However, that's only if the label promotes you.
Okay.
So you could drop an album, but, as a Meek Mills artist, if you're getting 500,000 views on a YouTube video, that ain't shit compared to his other stuff, So if it's not getting promoted and pushed, then you're not making any money. You're actually still in debt.
Damn. And say they do end up making this amount of money back. Is everything after that profit?
Yeah,
they'll have to keep
essentially
making the money for them.
I'm sure.
Essentially, and then you've got all the people that you have on your payroll. If you're at that caliber, obviously, that's pretty high up artist stuff. But it's, all of that comes out of your pocket. Like even just booking a show at a venue, like that initial cost comes out of your pocket. The set cost, the bus cost, everything is coming out of your upfront advance. So,
Jeez.
You really could get yourself fucked, but
it's like making a deal with the devil.
Definitely.
Like,
you have to sell your soul.
Yeah,
and you become like a label pawn. Like they can do whatever they want because you have to pay them back. So
yep.
What are you going to do? Tell them no?
Which band did we talk to? Maybe we shouldn't call them out, but one band was like shelved, essentially.
Oh, yeah, one of our favorite bands, actually.
Was that Just Surrender?
Yeah, it was Just Surrender, if you want to call them.
Call their label out.
Yeah, but yeah, they got held up, and also Hit the Lights had a real bad horror story where they had too many fucking record label execs trying to step in after they hit album. They literally had like an amazing album, and then record execs wanted to change everything on them, and their whole sound changed. Yeah,
it happened to a lot of those like pop punk bands from the 2000s, essentially.
Yeah, happens to a lot of rappers too. Nowadays, anyway.
I bet. You find a lot of artists trying to go independent and make their own album or record companies now, and it's a lot easier these days too. You get a guy that's good with promoting. Everything's digital now. Very few people are doing fucking, CDs right off the bat. That doesn't come until you got success.
Who buys CDs anyway?
Exactly. Yeah. So, it's not the days of making your demos on that anymore. It's fucking get it on Spotify, get it on SoundCloud, get it
Definitely. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because even if you go to a show and you're passing out a free CD to people, like...
Do they even have a CD player?
Right. Like, most people ain't even going to listen to it. So, and then okay, well, you can pass out a flash drive, but any smart person would never put a unknown flash drive into their computer.
Good point.
No, I'm not going to do that. Sorry, dude. So the only way is...
Clickable links are the way to fucking go these days.
Exactly. So.
Yeah.
Do you... what's your take on, the state of, indie music itself now, these days?
I think it's better than it's ever been. You really have, all these platforms that would have never been available to you pre 2010, let's say. Or if it is available, then it would have been at a very high cost.
I think
nowadays, SoundCloud, YouTube, even these small distribution companies like DistroKid, like I said, I went through, they, for a cheap price, you can get your music everywhere, so it's not as hard to get your music out there. The hard part now is, because it's so saturated, separating yourself and getting the marketing and promotion and all that kind of stuff that's the hard part. So it's really not so much getting your music out, because you just got to put it out.
Yeah, we were chatting yesterday, and you said something about Spotify only counting if it was a 30 seconds of play or something along those lines.
Right. So Spotify counts a stream if you have to make it 30 seconds into the song or whatever you're playing. You have to make it at least 30 seconds in for that stream to count. So, a lot of people, first 10 seconds, if you don't catch their attention, they're skipping that song.
Yeah.
So
it seems similar to the state of podcasting right now, where, we're contributing to the fucking noise, but we're out there,
Yeah.
Amongst many, many others. I would say the only difference is like fucking 1 out of 10 people know what a podcast is or even listens to them, it seems. But at least with music, you have that up. I feel like people will give it that opportunity, as long as you can get it into their hands some way.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Because everybody that I've ever shown music to, or hey, listen to my album, I always get good feedback. I've never had, I don't know if people are just too scared to say something, but no one's ever been like, yeah, that was all right, man.
Being nice if that's the case.
Yeah. So it's just one of those things that it's hard, because you don't know what people are gonna like, and you just make your best quality and hope for the best, pretty much, unless you're paying for marketing and promotion and stuff like that, which is never a guarantee anyway.
Yeah.
Because even that's saturated. There's a lot of shitty things getting promoted. Facebook ads. You see a lot of bad music acts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, anybody can pay to do that.
That and whatever platform you're dumping it into today, there's going to be another platform tomorrow. Mm-hmm. That's going to be where everyone is. I feel like there's a big dump from Facebook right now to things like Instagram or mostly Instagram, which is probably.
I actually rarely go on Facebook anymore.
That's it right there. But then people say, Facebook advertising is one of the best ways to get your art out there. And it's like, is it? Who am I really reaching?
Yeah.
So have you ever done the promotional ads?
We did a couple ads.
Yeah, we've done some. It doesn't really seem to work for us.
Unless we're doing it wrong.
On Instagram, it seems to work a little better.
I have gotten that same response from everybody that's told me that has done it. They're like, yeah, we got some views and some clicks, but nothing ever really panned out of it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you can't even tell if it's real people or bots. Honestly, it's like, I have my concerns about it. I feel like I hear it, it used to be a lot better, quite a few years back, and then all of a sudden they changed everything, and it seems a little funky. It doesn't get you to where your direct audience is. You don't know if you're reaching, half the audience on Facebook today is elderly people. But let's be real. I don't think they're listening to rap or listening to American Slacker podcasts.
Yeah.
So that's the hard.
Well, if they are, they're dope.
Yeah. We're not hating on them.
Hey, play this in the nursing home. Play fucking Haverland. Man. Get us in there.
What have you found to be the best way to? Well, maybe not best way, best avenue to get listens or to get your music out there.
I'd say the biggest two definitely are YouTube and Spotify.
Okay.
YouTube because it's free, and Spotify because everybody pretty much has a Spotify.
Yeah.
So a lot of people will ask, send me the Spotify or send me the YouTube link, so those are definitely the biggest two that I can get traffic on anyway.
What's your Spotify playlists look like? Who are you listening to these days?
Myself.
Oh shit!
Oh man, he did it.
He went there.
Did it?
Damn. No promotion. No, I mean, but are there any influences either of like today or like, you know, in your past that you look to for inspiration or anything along?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I draw. So I have a weird eclectic background of music that I listen to, and I mean it ranges from pop rock to alternative rock to, you know, grunge metal to EDM to rap to hip hop. I know pop songs. I mean, I listen to everything. Classical music. I love classical music. That's been my favorite recently. Actually, I've been listening to a lot of classical. Probably because I'm in the process of learning the piano, but yeah, I mean, I draw inspiration from everything. Actually, most recently, I met a friend of mine, friend of my wife's, who is classically trained celloist, and he's been sending me some files and stuff like that of like melodies and like all these crazy like classical type, you know, things that I could never do myself. And he's sending me these things to like put in my beats and stuff. So
that's sick.
It's cool. Yeah, it's a cool little collaboration we got going.
That's awesome, man. It's great that we sort of live in that time now where you're able to, you know, just be, let me send that to you, boop, over there. I mean, if it were even like 10 years ago, you know, it'd just be a totally different world.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, take a fucking hour and a half to send a 5-minute song.
Yeah,
yeah, man. You know, going back to that, it's like, you know, I gotta say, MySpace really opened the door, I think, for independent artists, if you think about it. Because I mean, it was the first place you could make a song and put it really up. I mean, besides like, what was it, Live FM? That was really big at the time. That was a place that we used to post music. But man, think about that. You know, before that day, man, it was you're fucked if you were an independent. You're out there grinding with CDs and cassettes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That was more like the festival circuit and shit.
Yeah,
man. Yeah, you got to be out there playing, get across the country, and
I mean, it's definitely still a grind, you know, because
it's a different grind. Yeah,
it's a different grind, and I'm still out there, you know, trying to meet up with people, and like I just recently went to a show with you guys had him on the show, Lost in the Dub. I recently went to a show and I got up on stage and shit, but nice. Yeah, I mean, it's more networking and like just really tracking down people, and that's the grind now, is just kind of networking and promoting your stuff, like getting people to listen to it. That's the biggest thing.
Yep.
And you know, because like at this point, you know, fuck a CD. I'm never gonna sell a CD. I'm probably never, like, unless I'm Eminem, you know, I'm never gonna sell a CD.
You know what?
I closer to vinyl.
I was gonna say, I saw cassettes the other day at the store.
No
hipster fucking heathen, man.
Were you in Portland?
No, it was Urban Outfitters. So basically,
yeah.
Walking around with my fucking vintage '95 Sony Walkman fucking cassette player with a radio that I bought off eBay, mint condition, in box.
Wow. Save that.
Oh, by the way, slight correction before we get everyone writing to us. We haven't had Lost in the Dub on yet, but I have been talking with him about a few things. Yeah, no, it's all right. It's just you know, all the haters. We gotta cover ourselves.
That way they don't go through the archive and they're like
sitting on the edge of the fucking seat.
Oh man, hater blocks.
Better throats. Like that cougar we talked about in our Patreon bonus episode the other day.
Yeah.
Mountain lion. Yeah, just to be safe, not a female. You know what I'm saying?
So, different kind of. So, what can we be looking forward to from Haverland?
Definitely new artists. I've got some stuff coming up. Hopefully, Lost in the Dub and an artist named Chris Baby, who is based out of the Bay Area. I think we're gonna do like a vlog type thing, of a little production behind the scenes kind of deal. So
That'd be awesome. Like doing like behind the scenes for shows and stuff like that.
No, just like the recording process and making a beat. I think we're gonna do like I'm gonna make a beat maybe, and Chris will record over it. I'm not sure exactly the details, but that's kind of what I think we're gonna go towards. But
that's awesome.
As far as new music and stuff like that, I'm working on a My Free Mind Volume 2.
Ooh, nice.
And this one is actually going to be more of a singer-songwriter type album. This is actually there's not going to be any rappers on there.
Okay.
And I've actually, spoiler alert, there may be, I've got a singer. He's based in Cali, but he's down in Southern Cali. He may be doing an alternative rock piece.
Oh, okay.
We'll see. This will be definitely a different one.
That's cool. It's good that you're flexing your producing muscles.
Yeah.
Like calisthenics.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. So I mean, it's definitely this one is not going to have a stringent time limit because singer-songwriters need more time to kind of perfect their
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I'll probably have a date for that in the next couple of months or so. So hopefully by the end of the year we can get it out.
That's awesome. Nice. Do you have most of your artists already picked out and worked with, or are you still scouting a few?
I'm still scouting a few. This last project was more of like, okay, I have a deadline I want to meet. I wanted to set a goal and meet it. You know what I mean? So it was more of like, can I do this? Can I put out a good quality project? So it was more, I don't want to call it rushed, but I definitely had my last song finished. I would finish mastering my last song the night before I put it online. So,
oh, wow. Yeah.
It was definitely like a last minute kind of thing. I mean, it still worked out. It sounded great. It wasn't like a quality issue or anything like that. But I definitely, didn't take as much time as I'm going to with this next project.
Well, yeah, it sounds like, that timeline was really important to you, and sticking to that, I mean, it's something about the industry too. I mean, if you want to continue to work in the industry, you're going to have time frames to work in. So it's like you're testing yourself, just like you are with stepping out of genre limits, So, I mean, that's cool, man. I can definitely understand that. And I can definitely understand why you would work on it until the last minute, you know. I could definitely get that.
Yeah. So, and then, there'll be little releases here and there, just with random artists that I'm working with, because a lot of them will do like, let me get one track from you and I'm going to put it on my project, coming up in a couple months or whatever. So there's a lot of stuff like that I'll be promoting on my Instagram, Facebook, stuff like that. Another thing in the works is Haverland Mafia Music Family. So that's going to be a record label of sorts that I'm kind of putting together. And that's still in the works. I'm working out the details of that. I want to be able to give these artists a platform and a quote unquote label pushing out their music, instead of them pushing it out themselves. It just, when you have like a company pushing your stuff, your product out, it just looks a little more legit.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so I mean, that's something that, and I'm not doing this. There's no money involved at this point. It's really just creating a space in which artists can put their music out. So that's pretty much the idea behind that.
They always say, if you want to go fast, go alone. You want to go far, go together, right?
Yeah.
Makes it a little bit easier.
Right. So then my goal, my hope is that, if this kind of works out, I have a couple of artists and another producer that is, they're in, and really it's just hashing out the details of it and stuff like that. But we're going to be doing, pretty much all of our releases through there, and getting more artists on board and kind of just creating a family,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
It helps, conglomerate everybody's fans and gets new artists in people's ears. It's really nice, man, and it just opens up your networking big time. And at the same time, you're fucking sharpening that sword still, man, getting those skills.
Exactly.
With all the producing and learning more and more about how to fucking succeed in the industry.
Exactly. So, yeah, I've been working on clothing and stuff like that, getting gear out. And I've got one sweatshirt up right now. It's just one item, but I'm working on other things.
It's a start.
It's a start. It's something. Yep. You can buy something from me,
there
including
you go.
my album. But yeah, that's pretty much what's going down in the future is just new music, and hopefully this label gets going.
Awesome. Where can people find you on all the social media?
So I'm mainly on Instagram. That's pretty much my main platform, and it's Mr. Haverland, Mr. Haverland. And then my Facebook music page is Haverland Music. I'm gonna actually be converting that relatively soon once this label detail stuff is hashed out. That's gonna be converted to the label page.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's already a following and stuff like that. So
makes sense.
Yeah.
And there's also a place where people can purchase that album, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can go to Google Play Store, iTunes, Apple Store, anywhere. Type in My Free Mind. It'll pull right up. It's a bright pink and purple album cover. You can't miss it.
There you go.
Awesome. You heard it, people. Go over, support an independent artist who's trying to make shit happen.
That's right.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on, man. It's been a blast sitting down talking with you and hearing about how this fucking awesome album was created and how this fucking outro song was actually part of it too. We got to say, I don't think we even mentioned that, did we?
No, I think this is the first of bringing it up. But
yeah. He is the gentleman who produced our outro song with Young Carter. So
our 2019 debuted new outro and intro song. It's fantastic. It's an intro outro song, but yeah,
we love it. We've got a lot of great feedback about it, and yeah, man, we're looking forward to everything you do.
Awesome, sounds good. Thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Man. Thank you, and thank you to everybody tuning in. We fucking love everybody tuning in. We thank you all for fucking the support you give us, and yeah, until next time, that's it.
There you go.
We're smoking America. We passing America. I'm mapping America. I'm second America. We talking America. We blazing America. This is fucking America. We're second America.
This has been American Slacker Podcast. You can reach the show by searching American Slacker on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Reddit, or send them an email to americanslackerpodcast@gmail.com. You can download and rate American Slacker on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, and all other podcast platforms. Visit the show's website, aspodcast.com, where you will find every episode, official merchandise, and links to their Patreon if you would like to support American Slacker.
We're smoking America. We passing America. I'm mapping America.